Good morning. The sun is shining. We are all together. The hopes of this day, our graduation on this great quad, in the sunshine, has been among my deepest hopes as we waded our way through the chaos and the uncertainty of COVID. We did it together. About to be graduates, this is all about you. It's also about your families who have worked with you in so many ways to bring you to this turning point in your lives. Because the mark of an educated person is to know how to say thank you, would you as graduates please turn to your families now and join me in a round of thankful applause to them. It is the privilege of my lifetime to serve as the Chancellor at University of North Carolina, Asheville, and it is a deep honor to convene our ceremony today. To begin our ceremony, I invite Jessica Fox, a music major from your class of 2021, to lead us in America the Beautiful. Jessica?
Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountains' majesty above the fruited plain. America, America, God shed his grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea.
These past months of unrivaled challenge and uncertainty for us gathered here have led you to this defining moment in your academic career. In the words of Nobel laureate Rudyard Kipling, paraphrasing from his famous poem, If, let me read the following lines. If you keep your head when all those about you are losing theirs, if you can wait and not be tired of waiting, or watch the things you've given your life to broken, and stoop and build them up with worn-out tools, if you can force your heart and your nerve and your sinew to serve your turn long after they're gone, and so hold on, there is nothing in you except the will which says, hold on. If so, yours is the earth and everything in it. Class of 2021, you have kept your head about you and your hearts open during these chaotic and high-pressure times. We have learned from what we missed, like gathering together here. We've learned about ourselves and we've learned about each other. Our values as a UNCA community of mutual respect and care for all have served as guides along this way, this very long way of COVID. And you are now, I would suggest, even better prepared because you have in each of you a newfound resilience that cannot and will not be denied. It is now my pleasure to invite Provost Gerard Kai Campbell to the podium to read the UNC Asheville Land Acknowledgement, followed by our chair of our UNC Asheville Board of Trustees, Rick Lutovsky, who will bring greetings to us from the board. And following Mr. Lutovsky is Mr. Roger Aiken, former Vice Chairman of the UNC System Board of Governors, current member of the UNC Asheville Board of Trustees, who will present the Board of Governors Award for Teaching Excellence. Provost Campbell.
Please be seated. The University of North Carolina at Asheville acknowledges with respect that the land we are on today is ancestral land of the Inigituwagi, more commonly known as the Cherokee. We recognize the Cherokee as the native people and original stewards of this land. To the Inigituwagi, this land was known as Togiyazdi, where they race, and was part of the Cherokee Nation Chalagi Ayeli, which covered as many as 108,000 square miles of the American Southeast as late as 1730 and consisted of 60 or more towns. The stories that come from this land teach how to live, interact, and mutually care for all relations. We, as an institution, understand that there is a need to listen and learn from the people of this land. We acknowledge an act of recognition is not enough to overcome the settler colonial history that has attempted to eradicate indigenous people from the history and consciousness of these lands. The Eastern Band of Cherokee and UNC Asheville seek to affirm our work together to ensure a strong relationship rooted in relevancy, responsibility, respect, and reciprocity. Therefore, as an institution, UNC Asheville has a responsibility to commit its efforts and resources to the health and priorities of the Eastern Band of Cherokee Indians, the students who attend this university, and all the varied indigenous people who live in and around the lands this university is situated on. As these words are spoken and heard, we renew and reaffirm this campus as Cherokee homelands.
Thank you, Kai. Chancellor Cable, distinguished members of the Platform Party, it is with great pride that I take this opportunity to congratulate our graduating seniors on behalf of the UNC Asheville Board of Trustees. Graduates, I am honored to join UNC Asheville alumni, faculty, and staff, and your friends and family as we celebrate your achievement in completing your respective degrees. Your UNC Asheville experiences have given you opportunities to become the individuals that you are today. You have a sense of community, respect for the power of the human spirit, your compassion and care for one another, particularly over this past year, have been inspiring to us all. In just a few moments, you will walk across this stage to receive your degrees. I know you will do so with the confidence and capability that comes from receiving your education at this high-quality public institution. You will be living, breathing examples of the value of a public liberal arts and sciences education. Your journey with this university does not end when you leave here today. As a respected alumni, you will be invaluable with our faculty as you seek opportunities to apply what you have learned here. As a graduate, it is your responsibility to use the critical thinking and problem-solving skills you developed here to improve our society, the lives of others you will meet along your journey. Your education does not end here. Learning truly is a lifelong pursuit. Once again, congratulations on your remarkable success. We know you will represent us with great honor in the years ahead.
Thank you and good morning. On behalf of the University of North Carolina Board of Governors and UNC President Peter Hans, it's my pleasure to bring greetings to the faculty, staff, and alumni of this special university, to the Board of Trustees, members of the Platform Party, Chancellor Cable, and most of all, from all of us, the graduates, and your loved ones who have worked so hard together on this graduation day, welcome all. Graduates, congratulations. The last few years, and certainly this last year of pandemic, have been both a test and an opportunity, offering you the chance to earn your degree from one of the finest liberal arts and science universities anywhere in the country. That kind of intensive experience asks a lot of you, but you've gotten a lot in return. You leave the University of North Carolina of Asheville able to think sharply, to act confidently, and to call upon relationships and skills that will carry you far in a complex and a demanding world. You've already had one incredible stroke of good fortune, and that is studying alongside some of the most talented faculty members anywhere in the state, people who have devoted themselves to the service of teaching and mentoring. To recognize that commitment, it's my privilege to present this year's Board of Governors Award for Excellence in Teaching. This was established in 1994 to reward great faculty across the university system. The awards are given annually to a tenured faculty member from each of North Carolina's public universities, following nomination by a committee of faculty colleagues and close review by the Board of Governors. This year's recipient from the University of North Carolina at Asheville is Dr. Irene Rozelle. At this point, if I could ask Dr. Rozelle, Chancellor Cable, and Provost Campbell to please come to the podium. As a professor and chair in the Department of Environmental Studies, Dr. Rozelle exemplifies UNC's Asheville's commitment to interdisciplinary learning through the liberal arts. In the classroom or in the field, Dr. Rozelle's dedication to hands-on teaching and learning by doing are hallmarks of her many years of teaching environmental science here at UNC Asheville. For example, students in her Hiking Through History and Wildcrafting courses work with the UNC Asheville Media Design Lab to create short videos documenting all steps of their class projects. The incorporation of such visual techniques for learning led Dr. Rozelle, along with two other UNC Asheville faculty, to write and be awarded a grant of nearly $200,000 to start a program called Science on the Move, closing the opportunity gap for migrant youth with science, technology, and multimedia. The program brings between 30 to 35 middle and high school age migrant farm worker youth to the UNCA campus for a 2-week science camp each summer, where they engage in hands-on science and multimedia activity in STEM fields, including chemistry, atmospheric sciences, ecology, biology, physics, computer science, and engineering, all mentored by faculty and undergraduates. Dr. Rozelle is an inspirational and aspirational model of creative pedagogy, dedication to effective student learning, and willingness to expand her already formidable skills as a classroom instructor. She embodies the value of a liberal arts and science education and exemplifies the mission of UNC Asheville for teaching excellence. Please join us in congratulating Dr. Irene Rozelle.
Thank you, Chairman Litovsky, and thank you, Mr. Aiken, for your good words this morning, and congratulations to Dr. Rozelle. You are an exceptional role model for our students and also for this academic and regional community, particularly for women in science. Many congratulations to you. It's now my pleasure to introduce Dr. Roger Payne, Chair and Professor of Religious Studies at UNC Asheville. Dr. Payne was the recipient of the UNC Asheville Distinguished Teaching Award in 2020, and therefore he now has the honor of presenting this year's award. Dr. Payne.
Thank you, Chancellor. At a liberal arts university, teaching is our most important responsibility. And each year we recognize one member of the faculty as among the best of the best by conferring upon them the title of Distinguished Teacher of the Year. This year's awardee certainly exemplifies this lofty designation. Faculty and students alike praise this year's Distinguished Teacher of the Year as someone very generous with her time, willing to go above and beyond in helping students succeed, both in our home department and in our flagship program in the humanities. Her classrooms are spaces of negotiation where students are encouraged to seek their own identities while affirming the difficulties and challenges of others who face marginalization, injustice, and lack of opportunity. And students respond enthusiastically to these challenges. As one former student wrote, "This professor is a great teacher who pushed me to be a better student." In and out of class, wrote another, she engaged thoughtfully and earnestly with our ideas, and she helped us do the same with each other. Indeed, so devoted to her are her students that they become what Dr. Kirk Boyle, the chair of the English department, refers to as Erica's Army, as they travel with her from course to course and from one learning opportunity to the next. From serving potluck dinners in her food and literature course, to bringing renowned authors of Southern and Appalachian literature to our campus, to traveling with a caravan of students every year to the Appalachian Studies Conference, where they often present their own scholarly work developed under her mentorship and guidance. Her classroom cannot be defined or confined within brick and mortar walls. One of her former students spoke for many when she wrote, "Dr. Locklear makes me want to be the best version of myself as a student and a scholar. I am a better writer, reader, thinker, and person because of her, and UNC Asheville is a better university because of her." We agree, so let me ask now our Distinguished Teacher of the Year to join me here on stage and introduce you to her as my tremendous honor and distinct pleasure, Dr. Erica Abrams Locklear. Congratulations, Erica.
Students, as we honor Dr. Locklear and Dr. Rozelle, would you please stand and offer a word of thanks through your applause to all of our faculty and staff who are the heartbeat of this institution. Please rise. Thank you, faculty. Every spring, UNC Asheville presents senior awards to 3 members of the graduating class. The A.C. Reynolds Award and the Thomas D. Reynolds Prize are presented to the graduate who has demonstrated outstanding service to the campus community. This year, we recognize Alina Morrison. Alina has served in a variety of leadership roles on this campus and has made a lasting contribution to the vibrancy and livelihood of our community here. She works actively to support communities and consistently challenges herself to keep giving more. She has long been committed to the fields of human rights and international policies and politics, as evidenced by her remote work as a human rights researcher with the Political Terror Scale, PTS, her internship with Inclusive Development International, IDI, and her summer public policy and international affairs fellowship at Princeton University. Congratulations, Alina. The William and Ida Friday Award is presented to the outstanding graduate who serves the larger Asheville, Buncombe County, and Western North Carolina regional community. This year, we recognize Devin Gill. Devin has served in many leadership roles on campus and in the community, working on various projects following passion. Devin is known for tackling major issues in this community, such as diversity, inclusion, equity, gender bias, LGBTQ rights, and voter engagement, as well as access to higher education. Devin served as an intern for Congresswoman Lucy McBath in the 6th District of the state of Georgia, and has served in the Guardian Ad Litem Association of Buncombe County, working with foster children and families since 2019. Devin epitomizes what it means to be a graduate outstanding in service beyond the walls of the university and into this very important neighborhood and community. Congratulations, Devin. Finally, the Manley Wright Award is presented annually to the graduate who ranks first in academic accomplishment. By tradition, the Manley Wright Award recipient is the student speaker at spring commencement and will be the last student to receive her degree presented on a silver platter. Alyssa is earning her degree with a major in biology and a minor in mathematics, with extraordinary work in both disciplines, achieving a GPA of 3.963 in biology and 4.0 in mathematics for a 3.963 overall. She has worked on several research projects, including the study of endangered reptiles and snakes. Alyssa's senior thesis, entitled Complete Protein Coding, Mitochondrial Genomes of the 13 West Indian boas, is the first study to generate complete mitochondrial genomes for an entire genus of boas. Alyssa was one of only 8 students accepted into the 2019 Harvard University cohort with the National Science Foundation, in research program for undergraduates. The project that she completed at Harvard produced findings that were then presented again to the larger Harvard University faculty and student community through the Leadership Alliance of the National Symposium in Hartford, Connecticut, and the Society for Systemic Biologists annual meeting in Gainesville, Florida. A conference that some of the top biologists in the nation, including UNCA faculty member and Alyssa's advisor, Dr. Graham Reynolds, regularly attend. In addition, Alyssa has embraced her liberal arts and sciences education by completing upper-level courses outside of her biological science disciplines, taking courses in philosophy and in drama, while also serving as a student instructor in the biology department and as a volunteer in this area for animal rescue organizers. We are very pleased to have Alyssa Vanarelli as our student speaker today. Alyssa, please join me here at the podium.
Good morning. To the Chancellor, Provost, and the Platform Party, and to the faculty, I'm grateful to be able to offer a few words this morning. To my fellow students, graduates of the class of 2021, I'm so happy to be able to speak to you today and tell everyone about what a remarkable group this is. Have you guys ever looked at the university seal? If not, I encourage you all to do so, because it contains an inspiring message, our university motto that I think we can all resonate with. The seal reads, Levo oculos meos in montes, which means I lift up my eyes to the mountains in Latin. I lift up my eyes to the mountains. I think this phrase is inspiring and can be interpreted differently by each of us, but I want to tell you what this means to me. When I read the seal, I think about it literally, by looking up to the mountains and appreciating the biodiversity they contain. This is a special place, Western North Carolina, this city, this university, and we're among the lucky few who get to enjoy these mountains. Now, I'm a student of the natural sciences, both biology and math, so my mind is often occupied by thoughts of nature. In my time here at UNC Asheville studying biology, appreciating nature is exactly what I've done. Now, while I would love to teach everyone here the scientific name of my favorite snake, I find that it's an appreciation for nature, an appreciation for the mountains that we might all share. A liberal arts education means that each of us has learned to appreciate nature in different ways. What a powerful idea this is, that our class is set to go out into the world with a shared connection derived from shared experience, but with the depth of perspective and the diversity of ideas that we've had instilled in our few years here. But I can offer everyone a few biology anecdotes that I thought you might enjoy. First off, these mountains are incredibly diverse and are home to a wide range of plant and animal species. This is right in our backyard, so to speak, and I don't think people really appreciate how biodiverse this area is. Did you know that the Southern Appalachian Mountains are the global hotspot for salamander diversity? There's nowhere else in the world with more species of these amazing creatures. This area is also home to Gray's lily, found nowhere else, as well as cerulean warblers, Fraser firs, copperheads, pygmy shrews, and cedar waxwings. What an astounding place. And how wonderful is it to study the liberal arts, which means that we can also learn that the language of nature is mathematics, that Fibonacci sequences are revealed in natural objects, and that the ebb and flow of the tides, or the steady decline of endangered species, can be modeled mathematically. We can all get so caught up in our work that we don't often take the time to appreciate the world around us, to lift up our eyes. So I just wanted to share a few things that make this area special to me. Being here at UNC Asheville has taught me to appreciate the beauty and the science in the world around me, and I will carry this perspective with me for the rest of my life. Now, none of us can talk about what we've learned here without thanking some of the wonderful people who helped and supported us along the way. For me, the first biology class I took here at UNC Asheville was Ecology and Evolution, and it changed the course of my career completely. This class quite literally lifted my eyes to the study of biology. The next things I did were declare my major and join Dr. Graham Reynolds' research lab, studying the ecology, evolution, and conservation of Caribbean reptiles. Dr. Reynolds, you've inspired me more than you could ever know and helped shape me into the scientist that I am today. You've displayed a perfect example of what it really means to be an educator, and I truly cannot thank you enough. I also want to thank the entire biology department, both the faculty and the students. You've all influenced me tremendously, more than you might know. I lift up my eyes to the mountains. It may not mean the same thing to you as it does to me, and that's sort of the idea. but I think there is a message in there we can all resonate with. Our shared experience means that my fellow graduates, those of us who studied physics, chemistry, art, Africana studies, classics, dance, and everything else, we have a connection, and we've been there for each other. We've learned from each other through shared experience, shared hardship, and shared tragedy. This class has stood up for the rights of others, has said loudly, Black Lives Matter, has worked beyond the hill on which this university stands to serve the community of Asheville. We are united in the shared experience of a world upturned, of being cut off from one another in an instant, only to reemerge as faces in a Zoom call. Our plans were canceled, our study abroads closed, our friends and family facing the stress of economic upheaval and illness. Together, we're emerging from this storm of challenge and change with a resolve to be the change, to set the example for the world around us. And so I urge all of us, be proud of what we've accomplished. Be very, very proud. And perhaps as you reflect on your time on this campus, take a moment to lift up your eyes. Take some time to observe and appreciate the world around you. We know we can face challenge. We've done it after all. And so we know that when challenge arises, we must lift our eyes. I wish you the best of luck, class of 2021. It is my honor to speak on our behalf, and I offer this final thought. Wherever you go and whatever you do, take a little piece of the mountains with you. Thank you.
Alyssa, what an inspiring set of comments. We're so proud of you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Well done. Would Chairman Rick Lutovsky, the chair of the UNC Asheville Board of Trustees, and Gerakai Campbell, Provost and Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs, please join me. This year, 4 individuals are recognized this morning as honorary degree recipients. Each of these individuals have made truly significant and distinguished contributions in their professions, in their communities, and in the world for our collective good. Mel Chin, will you please join me at the podium? Mel Chin, we honor you today as a newly elected member of the American Academy of Arts and Letters, a MacArthur Fellow, and an artistic pioneer and sculptor untethered from the conventional concepts of art. Armed with a Bachelor of Arts degree from Peabody College, your work in media as diverse as earthworks, sculpture, animation, textiles, digital applications has turned art into a tool for activism and science and philosophy. Your emphasis on collaboration across disciplines, so much a hallmark of this institution, and your insistence that art deal to help heal the damage wrought by human communities and the environment will evolve the field from the aesthetic experience to world-changing action. You have been the recipient of multiple fellowships from the National Endowment for the Arts, grants from groups including the New York State Council for the Arts, Art Matters, the Creative Capital, and accolades such as the biennial Frischie Culture Award from the Museum Hetermain and the Nancy Graves Foundation Award. You have also received a Distinguished Alumni Award from your Peabody College alma mater. In 2018, your Wake sculpture installation, designed, engineered, sculpted, and fabricated at UNC Asheville STEAM Studio, was unveiled in Times Square in New York City. After nearly a year of collaborative work with UNCA students and faculty, You produced, in partnership with this university, the largest public art installation ever in Times Square. In addition to your own artistic endeavors, you have cultivated the talents of young artists at a number of esteemed institutions, including Cooper Union, the Corcoran School of Art and Design at George Washington University, the Community Innovators Lab at MIT, the University of Georgia, Stanford, East Tennessee State University, and the University of Michigan. In doing so, you have helped to ensure that the arts remain a vibrant and priceless part of American culture. And so, Mr. Mel Chin, in recognition of your achievements throughout your career, your commitment to art as a catalyst for change, and your indelible impact on future generations of artists in all mediums, the Board of Trustees of the University of North Carolina, Asheville is proud to award you the degree of Honorary Doctor of Arts. Congratulations.
Thank you. All right.
How are you? It's a privilege to be awarded an honorary degree by an institution of higher learning. Thank you to the University of North Carolina, Asheville, for having me. I can admit this is not my first time. Surprisingly, other institutions have bestowed a similar recognition on me. But I can confirm, in this case, I am in awe of the company here with me today. Their words, accomplishments, and deeds are part of the foundation I have built my art and life upon. I'm here with someone who truly understands what the gift of health means and how it translates into the health of a community. I'm here with someone who gives transcendent meaning to words and the memory of her people, so they can be the motivation to redirect and renew my own path, so I can advance in an empathetic, soulful engagement with my future. I'm here with the continuing presence of someone who dedicated his life to ending systemic cruelty with nonviolence, gave permission for good trouble, and understood that a dream of democracy without full representation is truly a continuing nightmare. And I'm here with you, commencers. How y'all doing? 25 years ago, I was on a panel with Congressman John Lewis as part of the exhibition Equal Rights and Justice at the High Museum in Atlanta. While the works in the exhibition were addressing these topics, the artists were sitting there with someone who embodied the struggle to achieve them. For the record, John Lewis was exceedingly inspirational. If he were here with us today, I would not reminisce on our short time together as much as I would pledge my effort to continue his vision to realize the promise of democracy and equal and undivided society. Working as an artist with ideas and concepts has forced me to realize that the purpose of my practice is not to promote my grand production of eternal truth or beauty, but to catalyze new structures for ideas to be emboldened, to take hold, and to do their part to redefine what truth, beauty, and justice can be. I have to tell you something. You know, the school selected me for this honor because of what I've accomplished. But recently, I've taken this position to start over again, to be in a state of becoming. To do this, I will accept this honor with a commitment to learning more from you, working harder with you, to critically examine what constitutes a life worth living with you in a world that is now also yours to form. So, to the graduating class, as I've learned to say in North Carolina. Appreciate you.
Thank you, Mel Chin. What an honor. Joy Harshaw, will you please join me at the podium? There you go. Joy Harshaw, we honor you today as a newly elected member of the American Academy of Arts and Letters, like your colleague Mel Chin. You also serve as the 23rd United States Poet Laureate and the first Native American to hold this position. Your illustrious career as a poet, writer, artist, and musician has garnered you the William Carlos Williams Award from the Poetry Society of America, the Wallace Stevens Award from the American Academy of Poets, the Ruth Lilly Prize from the Poetry Foundation, and the Jackson Prize from the Poetry Society of America, among others. Your work has elevated all who have been touched by it. After earning a Bachelor of Arts degree in creative writing from the University of New Mexico and a Master's of Fine Arts in creative writing at the Writers' Workshop of the University of Iowa, you taught English, creative writing, and American Indian Studies for more than 2 decades at universities throughout the nation. Countless students have been inspired by your unparalleled dedication to your craft of poetry well written. Your craft continues to produce acclaimed works, including 9 volumes of poetry, 5 albums, and a memoir. Your journey has not been easy, and your work wrestles with the personal struggle and often painful history of displaced nations. But your persistence and your achievements have indeed opened a doorway of hope for Indigenous peoples and all Americans. And so, Joy Harshaw, in recognition of your renowned efforts to communicate the human experience, your leadership as Chancellor of the Academy of American Poets, your commitment to other Native American artists as a founding board member of the Native Arts and Cultures Foundation, and your groundbreaking work giving voice to the past as well as the future through First Native Nations Poetry Anthology. The Board of Trustees of the University of North Carolina, Asheville is so very proud to award you the honorary degree of Honorary Doctor of Arts. Congratulations.
Mado, thank you. These mountains are among the oldest in the world and in the Western Hemisphere. They have names that no one knows. There would be no Asheville, North Carolina without their knowledge and power. There would be no University of North Carolina. These mountains are how the power of the earth makes itself known. In this moment of time, we are blessed by the gifts of these mountains, by the motion and taste of the waters moving through stone, the plants, animals, and birds who make their homes here. Each of us is charged as a keeper of Mother Earth, or Iganajaga in the Muskogee language. The indigenous peoples are the original keepers of any lands. The Tsalagi or Cherokee are those who tend to the spirit of the lands here. And everyone who now lives here, who calls this place home, who is led by the spirit of this place, is also a keeper. Knowledge of how to be human is tied intrinsically to place, to land, and to our relationship to it. And because of this day, each of us will carry these lands within us. We can return in memory to this moment for strength, inspiration, and compassion when we need to be refreshed, because we are going to be challenged in our respective fields of knowledge and endeavor in each of our communities, our country, and as citizens of Earth. We are always challenged to be the best possible version of ourselves. When making choices, we must keep in mind the effect that each choice has, not just on our individual lives, but on all life. One of those challenging times we faced as a country was when the Indian Removal Act of 1830 was signed into action by President Andrew Jackson. It was a death warrant for Native nations, peoples in this part of the world. Indigenous peoples who knew these lands as home were forcibly removed west to Indian Territory at gunpoint. Some managed to find refuge in these mountains. They kept hold because the mountains also kept hold of them. Those who arrived in Indian Territory were then faced with continued efforts of dispossession and eradication. The Dawes Act was one of those aggressive efforts. Senator Henry Dawes helped devise the act that would take tribal nation lands out of communal care and divide them for individual ownership to assimilate Native nation citizens to an American cultural and economic system that exploits resources for personal profit. He could not understand the Native practice of sharing resources. He reported to the Board of Indian Commissioners in Washington, "There is no selfishness which is at the bottom of civilization. Unless till this people consent to give up their lands, they will not make much progress." We must ask ourselves, all of us, right here, where we are and where you are in the story at this exact moment in history. We must ask ourselves, what have we gained? What have we lost? And how can we move forward together? I'm honored to stand here with you in this story, now part of the UNC community, this place in the mountains, poised with you at a precipice of great change. We are remaking the collective story as we move forward individually. It is up to every one of us whether we make a story that will support all life and not misuse power that would exploit the land and the inhabitants of these lands. Together we do make a collective story in which everyone thrives and feels honored. We can make this story in which everyone feels honored at the opportunity to share their gifts of life. These mountains teach us about time. What is beautiful and supports all life on the mountain will last. Maro, thank you.
Thank you and congratulations, Joy. King Prather, will you please join me at the podium? And King Prather, we honor you today as the former Senior Vice President and General Counsel at Blue Cross Blue Shield of North Carolina, a renowned leader of extraordinary nonprofit organizations throughout the state, and member emeritus of the UNC Asheville Board of Trustees. I must mention how much we honor you as well for your 3 children as UNC Asheville graduates. After earning a Bachelor of Science in Economics from the University of Virginia and a Juris Doctor from the North Carolina Central School of Law, you balanced a distinguished career as an attorney and general counsel with your ongoing tireless mission to serve the citizens of North Carolina. Even as your work as secretary of the nonprofit Blue Cross and Blue Shield of North Carolina Foundation helped to create healthier communities around this state, your presence on the board of Higher Education Works has expanded access to public education and given many of our state's most disadvantaged residents a promising path forward to higher education in North Carolina. In 2017, your exemplary service to this state was recognized by Governor Roy Cooper, who honored you with membership into the Order of the longleaf pine, the highest civilian honor given in this state. And in 2020, your record as an experienced leader and outspoken proponent for racial equity and equality, as well as diversity and inclusion, earned you a position on the governor's DRIVE task force to lead workforce effort to create a more inclusive and equitable educational system. At the height of your career, you also found time for two full terms of service on the UNC Asheville Board of Trustees, including as chair and vice chair. And the students, faculty, and administrators of this institution will forever be grateful for your kindness, your vision, your courage, and your leadership. And so, King Prather, in recognition of your remarkable career in law, your many efforts to promote justice and equality in North Carolina and across the United States, your indefatigable contributions to our university, the Board of Trustees at the University of North Carolina is proud to award you the Honorary Doctorate in Law and Public Policy. Congratulations, King. I'm so proud of you.
Chancellor Cable, members of the university community, we don't have the time today, and I don't have the words to fully express my appreciation. I'm humbled, I'm honored, and I thank you. And to share the stage with two artists like Mel Chin and Joy Hartshow, oh, I'm in awe of their achievements. They're an inspiration. To the graduating class of 2021, you are society's reward. You are our reward for believing in the investment of public education. You are the public good that society has bargained for. You have acquired finely tuned liberal arts superpowers. Use them for good. Use your powers of collaboration and adaptability to jumpstart your civic engagement. Use your research and your critical inquiry powers to recognize and distinguish between what is news and what is opinion. Use your reflective reading powers and demonstrate that honestly researching and uncovering our history does not mean you hate America. Use your problem-solving skills to reject false choices. Do you support the police or Black Lives Matter? That's a false choice. Use your debate skills to return the concepts of negotiation, moderation, and compromise to the public square. These aren't dirty words. These aren't evil concepts. This is how we progress. And as a product of public education, advocate for public education and for rewarding our public teachers appropriately. Seek out mentors who don't look like you. More than ever, the inclusion of diverse voices in our lives is critical for our common good. Be good to yourself, be better to others, and save this program. As of today, this program is your evidence that your name will forever be linked with that of civil rights icon Representative John Lewis. Think about that. You would honor his memory by using your liberal arts skills around ethical decision-making and choosing where your good trouble is, where your necessary trouble is, and confronting it. Thank you, and go Bulldogs.
Thank you, King, and congratulations. Linda Early Chastang, will you please join me at the podium on behalf of the family and colleagues of Representative John R. Lewis. Linda, I'm speaking to you, but I'm really speaking to John. John Robert Lewis, we honor you today for your distinguished career in public service. Your fervent advocacy for voting rights, your heroic contributions to the civil rights movement, you are one of the crusaders in the most momentous crusades in the history of our democracy. Well before you served 17 terms in the U.S. House of Representatives for Georgia's 5th Congressional District, you were already bending the arc of the moral universe as a freedom rider and chairman of the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee. Your willingness to call attention to your great nation's unmistakable imperfections led to repeated assault and imprisonment of you by both your fellow citizens and by local and state authorities. During the Selma voting rights campaign, you believed in equality and democracy, but those earned you scars that you would carry for the rest of your life. Your peaceful protest commitment inflicted far deeper wounds on bastions of bigotry and hatred when the Voting Rights Act became law in 1965. Not content just to make history, you also sought to preserve it, championing a National Museum of African American History and Culture through one setback after another until your dream was realized almost 2 decades later. Over the years, your remarkable life and inimitable legacy have earned you the Martin Luther King Jr. Nonviolent Peace Prize, the 4 Freedoms Award, a Profile and Courage Award, the Spingarn Medal, and many other accolades, including a Congressional Gold Medal and the Presidential Medal of Freedom, the highest civilian decorations bestowed by the United States government. As we continue to mourn your loss, you inspire us with your selfless sacrifice, your capacity for forgiveness, and your admonishment that good trouble is a necessary ingredient to create a profound and lasting change for this democracy. And so, Linda Early Chastang, as a representative of John R. Lewis, in recognition of your prominent political career, your critical role in the civil rights movement, and your tireless fight for an America where all citizens are treated with dignity and respect, the Board of Trustees of the University of North Carolina, Asheville is proud to award you the degree Honorary Doctor of Laws and the Chancellor's Medallion. Receiving these on behalf of Representative Lewis is Linda Early Chastang, Esquire, the Chief Executive Officer of the John and Lillian Miles Lewis Foundation. It is now my honor to present the Chancellor's Medallion to Linda as today's commencement speaker for our class of 2021.
Thank you very much, Chancellor, for that introduction. I will tell you that it really brought tears to my eyes. I would not be here except that John wanted me to be here, and I'm very happy to be here with you. It is truly an honor and a privilege to be with you. I'm humbled by this moment. Here I stand before you at this esteemed university, attempting to share with you what my friend, my mentor, my boss, and my hero would say to the graduating class of 2021. This is really surreal. And I feel, and I hope you do too, the energy of his life and example with us here today. So what would John Robert Lewis say? John Lewis, the son of a sharecropper, a husband, a father, a family man, disciple of Martin Luther King Jr., one of the Big Six civil rights leaders, congressman of 35 years, recipient of the Lincoln Medal, the Golden Plate Award, the National Trust for Historic Preservation's Preservation Hero Award, the Martin Luther King Jr. Nonviolent Peace Prize, the NAACP's highest award, the Spingarn Medal, the John F. Kennedy Profile and Courage Award for his lifetime of achievements, and the Presidential Medal of Freedom, the nation's highest civilian honor. John Lewis, the best-selling author of several books, including the comic book series. I know it's really called a graphic novel, but I call it a comic book still, March. You may have seen that. And an amazing autobiography, Walking with the Wind, which I would commend to your reading. John was a freedom rider who was on the first bus heading south to integrate interstate transportation facilities 60 years ago, almost to the day, May 4th, 60 years ago. A keynote speaker at the historic 1963 March on Washington, a staunch and unwavering believer and advocate of nonviolent protest, the recipient of over 50 honorary degrees, the man Time magazine called a saint, the man his colleagues in Congress called the conscience of the Congress, and really just an all-around good troublemaker. What would a man of these extraordinary accomplishments have to say to the graduates of the University of North Carolina, Asheville today? Well, the first thing John would say is, I extend a special congratulation to all the parents, family, friends, faculty, and all who supported the graduates of the class of 2021. Thank you for your sacrifice, your money, your prayers, tears, kind words of encouragement, and all manner of support that you have provided to the graduates, which contributed to their success today. Success that was achieved during the COVID-19 pandemic, no less. You know who you are. Take a bow, celebrate, exhale. You've done good work. And graduates, please join me in a round of applause for everyone who helped you become a graduate today. That is the first thing that John Lewis would say on this occasion, because John was a very observant and gracious man. He knew about sacrifice, and he always gave credit when and where it was due. Before I share with you the rest of John's message to our graduates, let me briefly tell you how I knew him. I first met John Lewis when I was a junior in junior high school. He was one of the many civil rights leaders who regularly visited our small church in Washington, D.C. There, I also met Martin Luther King Jr., Jesse Jackson, Bayard Rustin, Stokely Carmichael, and James Farmer. John and the other civil rights leaders would spend quality time with young people over lemonade in our fellowship hall. Why? Because he knew how important it is to invest in young people. Fast forward about 12 years to 1979 in Atlanta, Georgia, I got to know John's wife, Lillian, and it is she who reintroduced me to him in 1979. I worked in John's campaign for Atlanta City Council because he cared about things I cared about, including neighborhood preservation and ethics. I also worked in his campaign for Congress in 1986, putting up yard signs, licking envelopes, and hosting events for other young professionals to get to know him. The year after John was elected to Congress, we relocated to Washington, and I called him. I wanted to come see his new office. I got there, and he asked me if I would be his administrative assistant. Now, I have a couple of law degrees, and I had been a law professor, and I figured that an administrative assistant was an admin, sort of the office taskmaster, a scheduler, a keeper of notes. But I told him I would absolutely take the job, so long as I could help him change the world. Now, it may be hard for you to believe, but I did not know until I showed up for work a couple of weeks later that the administrative assistant for a member of Congress is the Chief of Staff. I just wanted to come help John change the world. I did 2 stints as his Chief of Staff, 10 glorious years of witnessing firsthand the impact of the most honest, hard-working, unassuming, optimistic, focused, energetic, and kind human being imaginable. He truly is, 1 in a billion. That is the man who is being honored here today with you. I hope you feel his presence, his power, and his energy as you celebrate your graduation today. Toward the end of his life, John asked that I establish the John and Lillian Miles Lewis Foundation, and I asked him, what would you like us to do? He said simply, continue my work, make sure the story gets told, and inspire good trouble. You'll know what to do. So what I did was to reach back to the lessons I learned from him over the course of our more than 35-year friendship. These are important lessons, lessons he would want me to share with you today. Have faith, be confident, be patient, be thorough, do your research. Don't just show up ready, show up prepared. Have both a passion and a strategy for what you do. Be creative, be nimble, pace yourself, give yourself permission to make mistakes. Mistakes are just things that you learn from. Treat people the way you want to be treated, always. Devote yourself as much to the planning as to the doing. Stay focused, don't give up. Never ever give up. Always do what you know is right and just, and get in some good trouble. And so that brings me to the message, finally, that John would have me share with the graduates today. What he would say if he were here with us other than in spirit. He is here with us in spirit. First, and please, he would say, listen to me on this. America is the greatest country on earth. Be proud of her. She is not perfect, but she is perfectly imperfect. Her work will never be complete. There will always be more to do. Work hard to protect her. She is worthy of your best efforts in all matters, big and small. John Lewis would go on to talk about America's potential and your important role in forging ahead toward a more perfect union. You know from all that you've read and heard that John Lewis was willing to die for America's unrealized potential, something you don't read or hear about often. He was beaten, bloodied, spit upon, insulted, condemned, and even misunderstood for his contributions to the American ideals. And he was very proud. He never gave in to despair, not on the Edmund Pettus Bridge, not in the more than 40 jail cells where he was held, not on the back roads and byways he traveled to register people to vote, not in the halls of Congress, nor in the cotton fields in Pike County, Alabama, where he grew up. John never regretted what he did to advance the human condition of this great country. And he would say to you that you should never, ever stop working on behalf of this great country either. Don't stop believing in America, ever. And know that you can make a difference. You can make America better. All you have to do, he would say, is get into a little good trouble, necessary trouble. John Lewis was a special man, always wanting to teach and inspire, particularly young people. He did something special that only a great man would do. He left a message for us and asked that it be published following his passing last July. And I'm going to end with it. He said in part, "Though I may not be here with you, I urge you to answer the highest calling of your heart and stand up for what you truly believe. In my life, I have done all I can to demonstrate that the way of peace, the way of love and nonviolence is the more excellent way. Now it is your turn to let freedom ring. Thank you very much.
Linda, we thank you for your words of wisdom and insight, and for your courage and all that you've done for this nation. Thank you so much. It is now my pleasure to welcome our provost, Dr. Garrett Kai Campbell, to the podium for the conferring of degrees. Graduates, it's your turn now. We honor you in every way today, and it is truly an honor to provide you your degree today in celebration of all that you've accomplished.
Today, we present the candidates for the baccalaureate degree. Chancellor Cable, these students have completed all of the requirements of the baccalaureate degree and have been so certified by the faculty and the registrar. I present them to you for the awarding of the degrees.
Graduates of the class of 2021, in recognition of your successful completion of the course of study and your fulfillment of the requirements, by the vote of the university faculty, with the approval of the Board of Trustees and the concurrence of the Board of Governors, and by virtue of the authority invested in me by these boards and the state of North Carolina, I am honored to confer upon each one of you as appropriate the degree Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Fine Arts, Bachelor of Science in Engineering, or the Bachelor of Science degree. You will now be called forward to receive your diplomas. Congratulations to the class of 2021.
Noah Richard Baer. Trevor David Pentland. Evan Day Decker Johnson. David Addison Freund, summa cum laude. Ellen Farrell Collet. Clayton Bruce Gibb. Molly Beth Perkins, magna cum laude. Grace Helen Christian. David Richard Leslie. Scott Daniel Allison. Matthew Emerson Campbell, summa cum laude. Shinemu K. Badwe. Nicholas Paul Lefebvre. Jessica Rose Fox, cum laude. Stephen Alexander DeFilia, magna cum laude. Viviana Leon, magna cum laude. Philip Thomas Whiting, magna cum laude. Alina Brian Mullis, cum laude. Michael James Johnson. Maya Kari Mahato. William Rose Greer. Sophia Louise Nietzsche, cum laude. Una Holland, cum laude. Jessica Nicole Steen. Trevor Jeffrey Little, magna cum laude. William Charles Barber. Elizabeth Cheyenne Abernathy. Noah James Rice. Jeffrey Beaumont Van Note. Thomas Lloyd Townsend, magna cum laude. Stephen Jackson Case. Daniel Patrick Sheehan. Lillian Joy Cathy. Daniel Custodia Juarez. Carlin Lee Hussey Ferrelli. John Michael Sizz. Jaden Russell Clark, cum laude. Brianna Catherine Welsh, cum laude. Rebecca Michelle Wilcox, summa cum laude. Sarah Joanne Fry. Jacob Donovan Rickman. Devin Tyler Cutchins. Emily Brooke Hernandez. Amadi Louise Stewart. Hudson Kennedy Davis. Timber Barbara Vetter. Emma Susan Radulovic, cum laude. Tamia Beatrice Lewis, cum laude. Asada Natari Amika Goff. Dove Wiener. Unia Willow Swan Sullivan, magna cum laude. Cameron Colby Langford Barlow, summa cum laude. Karsten Christopher Griffo. Mark Aaron Griffith. Kaylee Marie Schmidt. Caitlin Elizabeth Curran. Dylan Scott Thorin. Madison Marie Sellers, summa cum laude. Jaden Victoria Jenkins, magna cum laude. Julia Marie Metz Dorn, summa cum laude. Kaylin Laurel Westberg. Laurel Ann Buffalo. Jessica Catherine Adams Corso. Jordan Reed Zimmer, magna cum laude. Sage Boone Turner. Matthew Ryan Bradley. Eli Alexander Rhine. Samuel Farrar. Hannah Bayen Carlson, summa cum laude. Ethan Henry Anderson. Richard Joseph Palmer, magna cum laude. John David Sprouse. Cassandra Emily Becker. Sarah Catherine Purser. Mary Olivia Baer. Skylar Rain Marie Coakley. Catherine Emily Bohan. Claire Elizabeth Daniel. Jacob Matthew Honeycutt. Joshua Donald Lassiter. Emily Rose Benge, cum laude. Alden Eve Dennis, cum laude. Krista Rose Hames, cum laude. Nicholas Abraham Schneider, cum laude. Joshua Thomas Gord. Megan Jahala Almond. Alita Marine Jewell. Kelly Nicole Lucas. Elijah Shea Blue. Mallory Morgan Rothrock, summa cum laude. Danielle Rose Bayo, summa cum laude. Esther Joy Wright, summa cum laude. Haley Nicole Sanderson. Sean Adam Parker, magna cum laude. Marcel Isaac Kreckelberg. Emily Brooks Osborne. Ashley Nicole Dunkel. Andrew Thomas Stevens. Alejandre Teixeira Thorpe. Simran Dharmesh Patel. Jacob Levi Williams. David William Pulse. Jocelyn Gonzalez Huffmaster. Sarah Louise Eckert. Partia Islami. Joshua Anglin Mashevsky. Henry Hayes Cochran. Wilson Ellis Matthews. Logan Michelle Roper. Ruth Vladimirovna Sletlov. Benjamin Vladimirovich Sletlov. Tristan Lee Cook. Miles Alfonso Thomas. John Leland Michaels. Rachel Irene Crandall. Sarah Allison Blaylock. Adara Rose Vinyl. Madeline Scherer. Sarah Elizabeth Sheik. Brianna Grace Stewart. Shelby Diane Kustak, magna cum laude. Morgan LaFay Malakowski. Jalen Lorraine Blake. Tatiana Elizabeth Barrett. Harley Alexandra Amos. Vincent Oliver Williams, magna cum laude. Colin Wood Demos. Ralph Henry Day IV. Audra Lorene Lozada. Jared Christopher Sellers. Samuel Riley Ross. Christina Lynn Comer. Delaney Jean Foster. Perry Eve Anderson. Deanna Kimberly Tipton, magna cum laude. Kat Elaine Patillo, magna cum laude. Stephen Howard Taylor. Jessica Lynn Griffin. Rachel Brianna Simon. Rain Douglas Bradley. Jackson Monroe Dreyer. Anna Grace Kern. Mackenzie Lee Vernon. Keely Joe Peak. Elizabeth Morgan Webb. Grayson Russell Willard. Loudon Connor Campbell. Natalie Anna Mellick. Nicholas Monroe Cormier, magna cum laude. Isabel Olivia Lara Johnson. Andrew William Hill, magna cum laude. Jacob Thomas Evans. Sonny Helms, cum laude. Roxanne Locrian Topper, summa cum laude. Samantha Dawn Crane. Samuel Ross Woods. Rebecca Jean Boyce, magna cum laude. Anna Claire Zerlini, magna cum laude. Cameron Spencer Reynolds. Anthony Consavana Dryatana. Corbin Wildcat. Sarah Kathleen Schaefer. Jonathan Wesley Byers, summa cum laude. Veronica June Judson, cum laude. Julia Clara Newmark, magna cum laude. Ella Reese Lackey. Freddie Ronald Mino, cum laude. Amanda Rose Fry, cum laude. Corey Allen McAllister, magna cum laude. Anastasia Mariana Horvat, magna cum laude. Charles Francois Morkel, summa cum laude. Cameron Malone Lopez. William Jarvis Harris. Andrew Lavelle Coleman. Jovel Tyler Lee. James Zachary Scannell. Mary Vang. Jackson Brett Vines, magna cum laude. Samuel Paul Sipe. Anya Sky Tucker, summa cum laude. Alejandro Salinas. Lindsay Ann Pontorno, magna cum laude. Tessa Joan Snyder, magna cum laude. Harold Phillips Cameron. Nicholas Marshall Jordan. Jacob Tyler Shumate. Hannah Ann Sierra Capiolane Kaluahune. I'm sorry, let me say that again. Hannah Ann Sierra Capiolane Kaluahune Pinch. Michaela Janae Wilson. Thomas Lee Lunde, summa cum laude. Jacob Tucker Cave. Pulumi David Olawani. And last, our Manley Right winner, Alyssa Vanarelli.
How about that? All right. Congratulations to the class of 2021 UNC Asheville. We are so proud of you. Just a few more thoughts to close for today, this special day for all of us, and certainly for all of you. Here is my charge to the class of 2021, and we are all standing on the shoulders of the formidable honorary degree recipients who have been with us today. Graduates, you will leave this remarkable university ready to make your mark on the world. as global citizens, as lifelong learners, as educated problem solvers, and frankly, as change makers. And most important, as UNC Asheville graduates, always tethered here because this will always be your home. Take your liberal arts and sciences education with you wherever you go, putting your ambition into action, rising to meet any challenge, knowing that your education will offer you what matters deeply, not just to you, but to the world. Making your contributions with your smarts, your heart, and your effort. You charted your own course here at UNC Asheville, and you will now continue on as a global citizen in a complicated world. But you are ready, thanks to our faculty, our staff, and the long tradition of excellent academic work here. You will carry the vitality and the energy and goodwill of this place. After all, we proved that to one another this year. You'll also carry the work ethic you gained here and our UNC Asheville culture of mutual respect and fair play at every turn. You will make your way in the world having learned that achievement matters, but doing well by doing right adds the most to your heart, your mind, and our democracy. You now leave UNC Asheville knowing what it means to have been an important part of a community. You know how to create community, build it around you, because you have come from a place that cherishes a sense of togetherness. You have made us proud, and you will always make us proud. And we are deeply grateful to each and every one of you. UNC Asheville class of 2021, please now stand together. Please move your tassels to the left. And by virtue of the authority vested in me as UNC Asheville Board of Trustees, the Board of Governors, and this state, I proclaim you the duly awarded and very proud graduates of the class of 2021. Ladies and gentlemen, meet the class of 2021 from UNCA. Jessica Fox, would you return, please, and lead us in the UNC Asheville alma mater? Let's remain standing for those who are able.
Hail our alma mater, hail UNCA. Learning be your watchword, greatness be your way. High up on the mountains, in the land of sky, stands our alma mater. Lift your voices high. Noble alma mater, hear our words of praise. May we love and honor thee until the end of days.
Congratulations, graduates. I ask now that the audience please remain in your seats and at your places until this platform party has exited, our graduates recess, and the ushers escort you to rejoin your graduate. Congratulations, what a beautiful day. Congratulations to our honorary degree recipients. And thank you, graduates. Go make us proud. Thank you.